Greetings, Earthlings! Before we start exploring, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, wherever you're listening. It helps more people find the show and supports our mission of making science accessible to everyone. You're here with DJ Stellar Cloud. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to the EYU radio show. EYU, or Exploring Your Universe, is UCLA's largest science fair. Every year we get over 10,000 visitors and we have over 500 volunteers. Some of those volunteers are speakers, and we'll hear a lot about that today. You're listening to DJ Stellar Cloud and
DJ ZAP.
DJ ZAP, also known as Erin, is a PhD student in the UCLA Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. More importantly, Erin has served as one of the speaker coordinators for Exploring Your Universe for the past 2 years. Okay, DJ ZAP, what does it mean to be a speaker coordinator?
Well, during EYU, in addition to all the booths that are outside, there are lecture halls where expert scientists, usually UCLA faculty members, will give a 15-minute talk to share about some sort of scientific topic that they're researching, and it's accessible to the audience of all ages. And so those are what the speaker talks are, and as a speaker coordinator, we're in charge of organizing those, coordinating those, recruiting speakers several months beforehand, and making sure all parts of that event run smoothly.
Cool. So you've been on the board now for 2 years. Did you interact at all with EYU before that, or how did you join us?
Yes, so my first year at UCLA, it was my first year in EYU, and I was not on board or anything. I was just a volunteer with CNSI. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the California Nanosciences Institute
Yes.
at UCLA, and so they were calling for volunteers for EYU, and I just randomly decided to join. And so we had a booth, and we talked about things that are on the nanoscale, so very, very, very tiny. So I think we talked about carbon fibers or leaves,
making the crystals or something, some kind of hexagon.
Something at a very, very small scale, repeating patterns or something like that. Yeah,
CNSI is a huge part of our event, and this year they opened their own labs up for tours. I know you and I probably don't get to go because we have to monitor the event, but that was a huge draw. So how did you go from being a volunteer at CNSI to becoming speaker coordinator?
There was a call for whoever wants to be part of the EYU board. And so when I was a second year, I was just very interested because I had such a great experience at EYU my first year as a volunteer, and I wanted to be more part of something that was so much bigger, since EYU is a lot of fun and involves so many people, so a large crowd. And so that's why I was interested in just being part of the outreach and helping out in whatever way. It didn't have to be a speaker role.
Yeah, I mean, there's something beautiful about being able to see something tangible that you're contributing to the community, and EYU is a great way to see that because, again, there's so many people, 10,000 people, 500 volunteers, and you were in charge of like 20 or so speakers?
Yes, this past year we had 16.
Oh, wonderful.
And the year before that was 15.
So we're growing.
We are growing.
And what kinds of things did the 16 people talk about?
It's super cool to see how they're all from different departments or they just study different things. Like we had people from EPSS, so Earth, Planetary and Space Sciences, Physics and Astronomy department. We had one speaker from EEB.
Yeah. Evolutionary and Ecology and Evolutionary Biology.
Exactly.
If you want to hear more about EEB, refer back to the Maddie Zwerker episode. She's from that department, so we heard a lot about it.
Yes, so there's a great diversity of speakers. There's some from the Chemistry and Biochemistry Department as well.
And there's a potential really good speaker from your lab group, Pablo Alvarez, UCLA's 2025 Grad Slam champion.
Yes.
If we could get Pablo to speak, that would be amazing because he's so good.
Yeah. We also had Laura May Abron from Griffith Observatory, so not UCLA affiliated, but she's also awesome at science communication.
Yeah, I'm a big Laura May stan. She and I are Instagram mutuals. Anyway, so we actually had Danny on a few weeks ago, and he spoke so highly of you and just said that you had so many great ideas during your time as speaker coordinator. Do you want to share any of those with us?
I don't think I had great ideas. I feel like Danny had the ideas. Danny was like co-chair, for those who don't know.
That's so funny. You're both so humble.
I think Danny had a lot of ideas, and I was happy to do the execution. I'm very good at operations or logistics and administration.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, this, maybe Danny had an idea, a broad idea, and then I'd say, okay, like these are the steps we can take to fulfill this.
You know, this actually makes a lot of sense and really tracks with like how I know you and Danny to be. But speakers have definitely been growing. They are the place that I always say introverts should go because it's nice and air conditioned and you're not like stuck talking to booth leaders the whole time.
Yes.
You can sit back for a few minutes and still learn amazing science.
Yes.
What has been your favorite piece of science that you learned from a speaker?
Ooh. My favorite talk thus far has been Neil Garg, from a professor in the chemistry department.
Yeah.
And his talk was called Organic Chemistry in the Movies.
Okay.
And I just thought the whole perspective, the whole approach of being able to see science all around us was really cool, because
Yeah.
it was, in the movies, so science in entertainment, science in everyday things. And so, yeah, the point of the talk was that he brought up how certain organic molecules or things in organic chemistry came up in a movie, like maybe someone consumed a medicine
Yeah.
in a particular animated movie, or maybe they were using a balloon and there's helium gas in the balloon or something.
Is that
So,
like Up?
perhaps
I'm a really big Up stan. Do you remember any of the
Yeah.
movies that Neil talked about?
I think one of them was Big Hero 6.
Oh, with Honey Lemon.
Yes, probably
Okay.
Honey Lemon and her periodic table handbag.
Yes.
That's super cool. I feel like they're mostly Pixar, kind of the
Yeah.
animated genre.
Duh, because it's for kids. Oh my gosh. Because I'm out here thinking of like, what happened to the Titanic? But you wouldn't talk to kids about the Titanic. That's really cool. I love when we try to use popular media to like be like, see, you do like science. You like it when it's packaged correctly and entertainingly, which is exactly how you and Danny have been running the speaker sessions. What do you think this year's speaker section is going to look like?
Every year they are getting more smoother and better as we get more used to things and know how to flow things better. I think the variety of speakers will also increase as we're also
Yeah.
trying to get more departments, for example, more people in the life sciences as speakers. So if you are interested, definitely keep it in your mind.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Those calls will probably go out sometime around the beginning of fall quarter. But specifically, life sciences is what we're missing.
Yes. So in 2024, we only had 1 out of 16, but we can always increase. So we can do so many different other departments, like engineering as well. So yes, I'd like to see an increase in the variety of speakers. I'm sure whoever is speaker coordinator in 2025 will also do a great job and keep everything smooth. And so maybe in terms of improvement, we also want to be able to...
Oh, the TikToks.
Yeah. This past year, in 2024, I suppose it was Danny's idea to film short videos, short interview videos with 3 of the speakers, and before the EYU day, and then so that was used as promotional material.
Yeah.
And they're really cool, and I think they had at least a decent amount of interest online.
No, that's great. I bring this up because we actually have an intern now who is like actually on TikTok and knows how to make short form content. And so I'm so excited for our intern Nicole to start making the short form content. Anyway, so we're hoping for a big diversity in speakers, a lot more advertising. I think it's funny that you're calling for more diversity in departments because you're actually part of like 2 departments, technically.
That is true.
Okay, so tell us more about that.
Yeah, so my home department, so what I mean by that is the program I applied to and joined as a graduate student is in chemistry and biochemistry, but you are allowed to join labs that are outside the department. So I'm in a lab I'm in Melody Lee's lab, which is in the MIMG department, or microbiology, immunology, and molecular genetics. There's a lot of acronyms everywhere.
Yes, scientists love their acronyms.
Exactly. And so that is the lab I'm in, which is not affiliated with the chem department in any way, but yeah, we study RNA viruses.
So how did you end up joining a lab from a different department? Like, is there an email list for that? Because here I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, I heard about the Lee lab because one of in our first year we do rotations.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we do rotations, which means we spend 1 quarter in a lab and we try it out, and then we go to another lab the next quarter and we try it out, and at the end of the first year we will then decide on which lab we want to join for the rest of our PhD. So anyways, in one of my rotations that was in the chem Biochem Department.
Mm-hmm.
They also studied viruses. So this is Bill Gelbert's lab.
Okay.
And then I thought viruses are cool, and so it was actually the PI Bill Gelbert who recommended me to rotate also with Melody Lee's lab, which was outside department. So it was through this PI connection that I ended up here.
That's really cool. Can we just do like a brief moment to shout out to some great mentors? I've had some great ones over the years.
Yeah.
My current one, Jean-Luc, Sophia Sheikh at UC Berkeley, and Karen Sandstrom at UC San Diego. Was it a mentor that inspired you to apply to graduate school?
I could say that. It was, well, I didn't know that I wanted to do research
Okay.
until I started doing research.
Yeah.
Which is when a professor at my undergraduate institution, so Wellesley College in the Boston area, this was Megan Nunez, and I took her chemistry class. I remember it was Intro to Chemistry or Equilibrium, something like that. And then I took her class. She's like, "Do you want to join my lab?" And I was like, "What?
What? That's crazy.
She just like asked out of the blue.
Because people are always saying, like, oh, you need to do more than just attend someone's class to get into research, but you were actually just so cool. All you had to do was attend Professor Nunez's class and get into research.
I guess so. To be fair, our classes were, this is a small college, so we had
Yeah.
maybe 20 to 30 students per class. But anyway, she asked me that out of the blue, and I was so surprised. I was also honored. And I said, yes. so then I joined her lab, and then that's when I started realizing that research is really cool, and I want to do research long term. So thank you, Professor Nunez.
Yeah, that is so cool. And then what kind of work did you do in the lab?
In the lab, we studied DNA damage.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like things like UV from the sun or
Yeah.
chemicals, they can damage your DNA. And so we were studying this one particular damage to guanine, the guanine base that
Okay,
makes
yeah.
up DNA, and then its consequences for nucleosomes. And so what nucleosomes
Okay.
are is the DNA in your body is actually, if the singular strand of DNA in one cell is super long, I think it would be over 2 meters if you stretch it out.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But the reason it could fit into something microscopic like a cell is because they're really coiled and compacted super tightly.
Yeah.
And one of the repeating pattern units is a nucleosome. So that was all to explain what a nucleosome is.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, so how did you go from the nucleosome research into applying to graduate school? And did that impact like where you rotated into? Because it kind of sounds like both of your research so far is relatively like health related, which is
Yes.
not true for all chemistry.
Yeah, that's true. So I was interested in more of the kind of the biological mechanisms or the biological things underlying disease or things related to health.
Yeah.
Since DNA damage could have implications long term for other diseases. And so I think that kind of overall interest has motivated me through grad school as well, where I came in wanting to study some sort of something related to DNA and RNA, nucleic acids, because I thought they were really cool as a system. But I also wanted to study something that had biological relevance to human health or to a disease or something related to that. So
Have you always had this interest in human health, or did something inspire that?
that I'm not sure. I think it just came out sometime during college.
Yeah.
When I would take classes and then I would read things and then things would just kind of click, where maybe in the news you learn about some health problem in the world or something like a new outbreak of the flu or something, and then we learn something in class about a molecular detail that actually contributes to this. And I thought, wow, that's really cool that there's such tiny things that come together and they all play a role in creating something much bigger.
Just like the hundreds of volunteers who come together and create the giant Exploring Your Universe every year.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm just being silly. But now you've gone through the whole grad school process of applying and being like, these are my interests, but I'm sort of like super interested in biological processes as seen through a chemist's viewpoint. And then what do you now do in MIMG with Melody Lee?
Yes, so our lab studies these viruses called alpha viruses. They're RNA viruses because viruses, they could have DNA or RNA, but these have RNA. And so alpha viruses are relevant because they're spread by mosquitoes. For example, let's say if I was infected with an alphavirus, a mosquito would have to bite me and then bite Megan for the virus to transmit from me to you.
Yeah.
So yes, alphaviruses spread by mosquitoes. Therefore, they are on the rise as there's globalization, there's climate change and travel. And so mosquitoes can now have habitats that are far-ranging. And the good news is that our immune system as humans and other animals, we have defenses against virus infection.
Okay.
And one of those defenses that I study is this protein called ZAP, hence my DJ name.
Oh, DJ ZAP. So you're here to protect us against the alpha viruses.
Exactly. And so ZAP stands for zinc finger antiviral protein, and it's a very important host protein that fights against alphavirus infection.
Okay.
But people don't know how it works. Like precisely what does it do? Why is it?
So it's
useful?
kind of like an empirical law. Like people are certain that if you have ZAP proteins, it will fight an alpha virus, but they don't know the internal mechanisms that are doing that yet.
Exactly. They know like that it does it, but not why or how.
Okay.
Those things are unclear. So that's kind of common in biological research where you see something happen but you don't know why. So then there's people who study the why.
Okay, so are you one of those people studying the why?
Yes, we are studying the why.
Do you have any guesses?
Well, my project is studying another protein that ZAP works with, because like ZAP does not do its antiviral meaning it fights against a virus, so like against a virus, so it doesn't do its antiviral activity on its own, but it requires this other protein called TRIM25.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm studying the function of TRIM25, what it does in the cell, how it works together with ZAP. Because what a previous student in my lab found out is that TRIM25 is necessary for ZAP to fight against alpha viruses. So now it's the question of why is TRIM25 necessary? What does it do with ZAP? And how can we uncover this question?
I love that. I love how within the like collaborative science of you built off the last person, like TRIM25 and ZAP also build off each other.
Exactly. Science is a lot about collaboration, people working together, just like all the people on EYU. Yay.
Yes.
It all comes back to EYU.
I know, everything does come back to EYU, and I always like to joke that whenever people are doing scientific research, they are exploring their universe.
Yes.
Which is really silly. But anyway, you seem like a very interesting person because you have a twin.
I do have a twin.
Can we talk about that?
Yes. My twin, shout out to my twin. Her name's Erica with a K.
Oh, wait, that's so funny. Okay, so you're Erin and she's Erica.
Yes. And she is currently a D3, so a third-year dental student at UCLA.
What? I didn't know she was also here. That's crazy. So you guys both started here at the same time.
We did. Yeah, it works out because we live together, go to school together.
Wait, why have I never met her? Did she come to EYU?
She did not.
What the heck?
I will try to get her to come in 2025.
Yeah.
But yes, but some people in my lab or other classmates have run into her once in a while.
Oh.
Because she's also on South Campus.
Yeah.
And then they will confuse us. So it's funny.
I definitely would. Wait, okay, so you guys look alike? Are you identical or?
We're fraternal, but most people who meet us for the first time will say we look very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people confuse me and my mother all the time, so I feel like the general face blindness plagues our country.
Interesting.
Are you and Erica, like, similar in personality, or?
We are similar in personality. For those who are familiar with MBTI.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
We are both ISFJs.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, it's very funny that we're both, the same.
Is that the nurse, defender?
I believe it's the defender.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just funny. I don't believe, I don't relate with everything.
There's more than 16
MBTI.
people in the world, but yeah.
Exactly, but it's just funny that with the two of us, we just happen to have the same MBTI.
That's really cute. Did you guys go to undergrad together too?
We did not. She went to Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but she was a chemistry major, and I was a biochemistry major.
Oh, that's so funny. Did you guys originally think you were going to end up doing the same thing, or did you always kind of know, like, there will be a slight diversion?
When we went into college, I believe we were interested in different things.
Okay.
She went in wanting to be a dentist.
Okay.
But I wanted to do more research.
If you happen to know, like, what inspires somebody to want to be a dentist? I have never had any inclination to be a dentist before.
Some people had good experiences with their dentists.
Okay.
Which sounds kind of funny. Because I feel like generally people...
They're always so scared of the dentist.
Yeah, they're scared of dentists. Or maybe a lot of people might have dentists in their family.
Yeah.
So that could inspire them. I feel like the same thing for other healthcare things. Like if you have a medical doctor in your family...
Yeah, carry on the family tradition of being a doctor. But you're both kind of interested in like general healthcare, so I think that's really fun. Your family must feel very well cared for. And y'all are also from California?
We are. We grew up in Fresno, which is in Central California.
Oh yeah.
Usually where people pass through on the way from LA to SF.
Yeah.
Or LA to Sacramento, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like that's how people know about it. And the big tree orchard that frames both sides of the freeway.
Yes.
Big fan.
Lots of agriculture. And then our parents currently live in Bakersfield.
Okay.
Another agriculture place. But I went to high school in Orange County.
Oh, how does this happen? That's so far.
It's a lot. We moved from Fresno to Orange County. And then we went to high school there. And then after my sister and I went off to college, our parents said bye-bye. And then they went to Bakersfield.
Oh, okay. So you were like born in Fresno?
Yeah, like born in San Francisco, but moved to Fresno.
Oh, okay. Which city in Orange County did you go to high school?
It was in Placentia. It was at Valencia High School in Placentia.
Okay. I don't think I know anybody from there, but I'm from Diamond Bar, which is like really close by.
Yeah. Fun fact, isn't Diamond Bar really good at badminton?
Okay, so Diamond Bar has like, it's 80% Asian. We're the world leaders in AP Calculus. Somebody can quote me on that if they want to. And so naturally they're just like good at badminton because so many Diamond Bar High students are taking badminton lessons from such a young age that other people, if they started learning badminton in high school, like don't really have a chance. That's really funny. The other sport that we're really good at is golf.
Oh, okay.
But like our like mainstream sports like football, basketball, soccer are generally not very good. With the exception of Alex Morgan. Do you do any sports?
No.
But you dance.
No?
But you're into K-pop. You're into K-pop but you don't dance.
Oh, yes, I do listen to K-pop, but I do not dance. I think I'm just I don't like performing in front of people, and I think dance is it's so performative that it makes me nervous, but
that's fair.
I can listen to it.
Okay, so favorite bands?
Oh, my favorite K-pop band of all time is probably this girl group called Mamamoo. They are a 4-member group, and they debuted in 2014.
Wow, I love the fun facts. Keep going.
Yes, they came to LA for a concert, and I went. It was, 2 years ago, I want to say?
Okay.
2023. It was a lot of fun. I think they're very talented, vocally and performance-wise.
And then favorite boy group?
My favorite boy group, is this group called B2B, spelled B-T-O-B, and they are also very strong vocally. So they sing a lot of ballads, which I like.
No, I like that too, because I was like a 50-50 stan before they like fell off the face of the earth. I know, the K-pop drama. DJ ZAP has visited my office before, and my computers are just covered in posters of New Jeans. Now NJZ. Because my lab mate and I used to do all the K-pop dancing together. So I would have invited you, because we used to drive out to K-Town and learn all the dances.
Wow.
But anyway, what are you hoping to do after grad school?
I think I want to teach. So as I've progressed through grad school, what I'm realizing, I think, is that I don't want to be full on researching. Like, I don't want research to be the rest of my life. I don't want my own lab.
Yeah.
And that's really fine. Like, some people do, and I think they'll be great at it, but I don't think that's for me. I think I want to teach and work with undergrad students.
Oh, yeah.
So it's probably because I had such a great experience at my undergrad.
Yeah.
Which was only undergrad students. There's no grad students.
Oh, okay. I never noticed that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it was small. Like, class sizes are small. Interactions between professors and students.
Yeah, to the point where your professor's just like, oh, you should come join my lab group.
Yeah, and so I really like that, and I think I want to be part of that. It's what I think right now. Obviously, I still have time to figure out.
You have more than enough time. I'm just like kind of curious because you seem like a very hard worker, but you're not interested in being in the spotlight all the time, which is kind of like what it takes to be an academic. I feel there's some element of like always wanting to be on the forefront and have people talking about you, which I'm not super into either. Between publish or perish, I would perish. Have you TA'd before?
I have TA'd. So in my department, we're required to TA 3/4.
Oh, that's a lot.
So I did finish those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite class that you TA'd for?
I TA'd for 2 classes. One was Chem 153L, which is a biochemistry lab. And then the other was MIMG 102, which is Intro to Virology and what my professor teaches.
Oh, okay.
They're both fun in their own way. I thought the Chem 153L, the biochem lab, was fun because I got to teach lab techniques to students. That was fun. The not fun part is reading and grading the lab reports. Let me be honest. There's a lot of pages and words. I'm sure the students also don't have fun writing it either.
I know.
And then FMG 102 was fun because the topic itself was very relevant. I learned so much about viruses, but it's also intense. Like being a TA overall is a lot of work.
It's a lot of pressure. And then your students are like very stressed out too because they're trying to get good grades in these classes.
Yeah, and sometimes I am learning the subject the day before and then I teach it the next day. So there's an element of like faking it a bit, but also like admitting if I made a mistake. I'm like, oh, I made a mistake. So clarifying things.
That's really good. I'm very impressed that you're willing to tell your students that you've made a mistake. I'm definitely of the I will just directly tell them when I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Have you TA'd?
Yeah, so I TA'd for astrobiology, which is like technically my field, but not really my field because I haven't taken biology in over 10 years.
Okay.
And so when we got to the biology section, I actually still don't really know what a protein is. Do you know what a protein is? You must know what a protein is.
Yes.
Can you give us a definition of protein?
Interesting. How can I describe a protein?
It's kind of hard, right?
Yeah. It's like a word that you use to describe other things, but how do you describe the word itself? It is...
Wait, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Are enzymes proteins?
Enzymes are a protein.
Okay.
So I guess protein is a broad category of molecule made up of a lot of organic things like carbon, hydrogen, and these proteins usually can do something.
Okay.
So they're not dead, but they have an activity. Like maybe they can move something in the cell. Okay,
so protein's kind of like a class of giant molecule.
Yes, they're a class of molecule. Maybe in a way they're kind of the soldiers of a cell in that they not in the defense part, but in that they do activity.
Yeah, they work hard.
Yes.
Like you, hard worker. So that brings us to our last question. If you were a child at EYU, I'm assuming you were a quiet child. Is that true?
I was a quiet child. I was very quiet. In 3rd grade, or was it 5th grade? No, it was 5th grade. I remember at the parent-teacher conference.
Yeah.
My teacher told my parents, they said, Erin's a great student, blah, 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 but we're a little concerned because she never talks.
Yeah.
So that was me.
I was actually really similar, but I was more like in a creepy way because I was like more of like, my words don't need to be heard right now. Like anytime somebody's like, why do you never talk? I'm like, my language serves no purpose here. And they're just like, what is going on? I'm sure you were like quiet in like the cute, nice way. But anyway, let's say you're a kid at EYU, you're walking around, and then there's some kind of like time loop continuum issue, so you're also a volunteer there. What would you have wanted to have heard from an EYU volunteer?
I would have wanted to hear someone affirming all different interests. So saying it's okay to be interested in different things and to not give up on things that you're interested in just because you're not good at them. Because I think, and I still struggle with this too, but thinking that I have to be good at things that I'm interested in. Yeah. But I also want the freedom to just explore things even if I'm not good at it. And so I think I would want to tell little Erin to explore things, to not be afraid to try new things, and just keep going at my various interests, even if it's hard. Yeah, these days I live by just do it badly, do it poorly. Even if you already know it's not going to go well, like just keep trying. Because practice makes perfect, but also like trying not to let that fear and anxiety hold you back from something that you really like. Did you ever experience these kinds of thoughts surrounding virus research? Definitely had imposter syndrome, which I know is somewhat common among grad students in the beginning, because I didn't do any virus research in the beginning before grad school. So I came into this field new, and I thought, what am I doing? I don't know what this is. I don't know how to do this technique. Things like that. And so, and I guess even studying something so different than what I did as an undergrad, I could have stayed in a similar area. Yeah. But I think coming to UCLA has expanded my interests.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that I get to be able to try a different topic. And in the future, as I think about, what am I going to do after grad school, I hope I'm also able to try new things.
Yeah.
And not feel like I'm limited or there are barriers, but can explore other interests as they come up and change.
Wonderful. Try new things, explore your universe. That's DJ ZAP for you. Where can people keep up with you or your research?
We have a lab website, the Melili Lab, UCLA.org, I believe. That is probably the best place. I'm not necessarily on social media or anything like that.
Very mentally healthy. So well. Very demure, very mindful. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you have any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
EYU is really fun, and I hope everyone can participate in some way in 2025.
Yes.
Yay.
That's great. With that, there's opportunities to volunteer year-round. Just reach out via email, and I'll definitely have something for you to do. Never stop exploring.